Hey guys! Second video for this week. So like I said, you're only going to have 2 assignments this week. Just 2. So that means 2 video keyword submissions and 2 worksheet submissions. So make sure you're getting both of those done. Like I told you in the previous video, I'll be taking and sending PDFs of the worksheets out, as well as taking and having it posted to our announcement, our Canvas page on the announcement portion. So be sure to take and look for it, and don't forget to submit your keyword. Remember, that is worth 10 points. So a significant amount of points for simply watching these videos and making sure you submit your keyword to me. So be sure to do that. As always, make sure I can read your handwriting, highlight your highlighter circle, box, however you choose to, your answers on your assignment. Most of you have done an excellent job so far. Make sure you take really, really clear pictures, because some of you had a few times when it was a little difficult to see your picture to read what it said. So be sure you're taking really, really clear pictures when you take and do that. Alrighty? Alright, so our next lesson, pardon me, sorry, I'm yawning, is 11-9, and we are looking at dividing now. So all of last week and our previous lesson were all about multiplying. Now we're looking at dividing whole numbers by unit fractions, so 11-9. We are not currently looking at 11-8, so don't panic that we went from 11-7 to 11-9. We're skipping 11-8 for right now. So we are on 11-9, dividing whole numbers by unit fractions. Alright, so how can you divide by a fraction? Joyce is making sushi rolls. She needs 1/4 cup of rice for each sushi roll. How many sushi rolls can she make if she has 3 cups of rice? So we're taking that 3 cups. We have the 3 cups, and we need to divide it into 1/4 to find out how many possible sushi rolls she can make with the amount of rice that she has. So one way to take and do this, let me get out the next slide. So one way to take and do this, as we know, we've got diagrams, of course. So we can take and draw a diagram. Give me 1 second to get my marker open. Doesn't want to open one-handed. Alright, so like I was saying, we have diagrams that we can take and draw with this. So how many 1/4 are in 3? So sometimes when we write out our division, instead of saying 3 divided by 1/4, sometimes you may see it wrote as how many 1/4 are in 3, because that's what we're really looking for here. So I made 3 holes. So I've got the 3 circles here representing my 3 holes. And now I'm going to split each one of these into 1/4. So there we are. There's another set of 1/4. And there's our third set of 1/4. So now to answer this question, how many 1/4 are in 3? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there are 12. So the answer to 3 divided by 1/4 is 12. Now that may amaze you. We're dividing, and typically when we divide, we get a smaller answer. But when we're dividing by fractions less than 1, guess what? We're going to get bigger answers. So keep that in mind as you're going through these. Your answers are going to get bigger rather than get smaller. So keep that in mind as you do these questions, I hope. No, sorry. Goodness, yawns. Hopefully you guys don't have any questions about this. As always with diagrams, if they really confuse you, they are not going to be 100% mandatory, especially as we progress through this. There is the first section on your assignment. I do want to see you figuring out how to take and do the diagrams. So drawing out the pictures and splitting them into the appropriate partitions to take and find the answer. I want you to have some practice with that, but you will not be required to do it after those first, I think, 6 questions there are. So if you like that method, by all means, use that to help you answer them, but it's not required after the first 6, okay? All right, so this is one way, is to make a diagram. The other way, so we know that 3 times 4 is 12, and we knew that the answer to this problem, because we're looking at the same exact problem, is 12. So knowing that 3 times 4 gives us 12, that suggests that we can also use multiplication to divide by a fraction. This is true. So here is a definition, reciprocal. So a reciprocal is where two fractions whose product is 1. So that would be a fraction like 4 over 1 times 1 over 4. If we were to actually multiply that through, 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 4 is 4, so this would give us 1. So 4 and 1/4, they are reciprocals of each other. So reciprocals, that is your key word for this video, okay? Reciprocals, because you're going to be dealing a lot with reciprocals this lesson. So our problem was 3 divided by 1/4. There's this lovely little phrase that if we were in class, you'd hear me say over and over and over and over and over and over again, and I will continue to say it as I take and do these lessons. Same times flip. Now what that means is, now some of you may know it, I know in other classes they've known it as keep times change or something like that. Can't remember it exactly how they had it, but they had a slightly different phrasing of it. Either one works if you know it a different phrase way, but it's same times flip. That's how I grew up with thinking of it, so that's what I tend to have you guys think about. So the flip just means give the reciprocal. So reciprocal and flip go hand in hand. So same means the first number in our problem stays exactly the same. So the first number in the problem here was 3. When we do the same times flip, it's going to be 3. And then we have divided by. We changed the divided by to times. So we went to times. Now, we had 1/4. We need to flip that. If we flip this, that means our denominator becomes our numerator, and our numerator becomes our denominator. It gives us our reciprocal. Reciprocals, so S on the end for your keyword, is a keyword, remember? So this reciprocal is 4 over 1. Now we just multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. So, same times flip. That is the key thing you need to get from this. So, it's going to make dividing with fractions significantly easier for you, hopefully. Okay? All right. As always, we're going to run through lots of problems. Well, not lots of problems, but some problems to help you practice with this. So, like I said, anticipate the problems being wrote out as how many 1/3 are in 3, how many 2/3 are in 6. So if we look at this first one, how many 1/3 are in 3, the problem that goes with this is 3 divided by 1/3. My key phrase is same times flip. So same times flip. If it helps you remember how to take and solve this problem, by all means, write out same times flip and then rewrite the problem based on that. So, same, 3 stays the same, division becomes times, and flip, well, 1 over 3, we flip that around or we find the reciprocal, we're going to end up with 3 over 1. So, 3 times 3 is 9. So, our answer is 9. And there you go. There's your final answer. Nothing else past that. All right, next one. So this one was with looking at a unit fraction because it's 1 over some number, but over here we have 2/3. 2/3 is no longer a unit fraction, so things will be a little bit different, but not too bad. So once again, rewrite the problem how it should be based on the question, how many 2/3 are in 6, so that's 6 divided by 2/3. Then keyword or key phrase, same times flip. Oops. Jump the gun there. Same times flip. And remember, our keyword for this lesson is reciprocals. So, what stays the same? That'd be the 6. We take the division and we turn it into multiplication and we flip the fraction. So if we flip 2/3, it's going to give us 3 over 2. We find the reciprocal. So now we can think of this as 6 over 1 times 3 over 2. So 6 times 3 is 18. 1 times 2 is 2. Now, can we reduce this? Yes, we can. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So our answer is 9. So our answer still went up, but it didn't go up as significantly as it might have because we weren't just a unit fraction. We had this 2 that ended up in the denominator when we did the reciprocal. So then we had to divide by 2 afterwards. So, pardon me, my goodness. So depending on what our values are, there may be some division that you have to take and do in the end. Always, always, always simplify your answers, okay? Remember to simplify. Always. When in doubt, simplify it as long as you can. All right, so our answer here was 9. All right, 2 more problems. Oops, this one got a little erased. Sorry about that. Okay, how many 3/5 are in 10? So once again, we're going to have 10 divided by 3/5. What's my lovely little phrase that I keep saying to you guys? Same times flip. Trust me, you're going to get tired of hearing me say same times flip, but hopefully it gets ingrained in your heads and you'll remember it as you progress through mathematics, because guess what? If you're taking a whole number or even another fraction and dividing it by a fraction, guess what? You're going to use same times flip. So if you progress in Excel with me, and even if you don't, you're going to keep seeing this as you go. So make sure you really commit this to memory, okay? All right, so same is our 10. We turn it into times. Flip, so we're flipping our 3/5, so it becomes 5/3. So now we have 10/1 times 5/3. 10 times 5 is 50. And 1 times 3 is 3. Now, how many times can 3 go into 50? Any idea? So it can go in. Remember, if you're when in doubt, because I know sometimes you guys don't think about it quite right and have a little issues. So remember, you're just dividing. How many times can 3 go into 5? That'd be ones. So we've got, oops, a 3 here. 2, 0. How many times can 3 go into 20? So you can't see that. It can go in there 6 times. We get 18. So we have 2 left over. So we've got 16, remainder 2. Now remember, we don't have to take and find the decimals on this. We can leave it with the remainder because we want the mixed number. So we end up with 16 and 2/3. So just a nice little refresher there for how we convert our improper fractions into mixed numbers for those of you who need that little refresher and need to continue building those skills. All right, so like I said, our answer is 16 and 2/3. All right, and our last problem for today. We have how many 2/3 are in 4? So we rewrite our problem as 4 divided by 2/3. What's my lovely little phrase I keep saying? Same times flip. All right, so what stays the same is the 4. We change the division to times, and we flip the 2/3 or find the reciprocal. So that becomes 3/2. Remember, your key word for today is reciprocals. So there is an S on the end of that. This is 4/1 times 3/2. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. Can we reduce this? Yes, we can. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. So our answer here would be 6. All right, so remember in division, you're always going to take and change the division into multiplication and find the reciprocal of the second value. It will always be the second value every single time, no matter what. So we always keep the first number the same, change our division into multiplication, and then flip the second number or find its reciprocal. So key word for this lesson is reciprocal. It's just flipping your fraction. So that denominator becomes your numerator, the numerator becomes your denominator. Alrighty? Hopefully that lesson won't be too bad for you guys. I know having multiplication and division both in the same week might get a little confusing, but I think you guys are going to do great with it, especially since our division is really just more multiplication in the end. We just have that extra little step in there where we have to flip or find the reciprocal of our fraction. Alrighty, good luck, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, thanks guys.